kicking it off with a very special guest here because the most important waiver wire story of week one and possibly the 2022 season will be the 49ers running back situation. And you know our go-to guy for all things 49ers is Grant Cohn, host of the Cohn Zone, publisher of all 49ers FN, part of Fan Nation on SI.com. He has come on by. He nailed Eli Mitchell for us in the preseason last year. He always seems to have his finger on the pulse of this backfield. Grant, thank you so much for taking the time in this busy NFL season. How's it going, my man?
Going good. My pleasure. Happy to be here, man. So what are we talking about today?
We got to start at the top, as mentioned, that 49ers running back room outlook. I know you always have a good grasp on what's going on here, and I'd love to know, with Eli Mitchell now set to miss about 2 months of the season, the vast majority of the fantasy season, what's it going to be? Is it going to be Jeff Wilson? Is it going to be Shenanigans and some other random fifth-round rookie is going to take over? Who knows? And that's what I'd love to know from you. What's your take on how this backfield's going to look?
Well, Shanahan can be a little stubborn, and sometimes he won't necessarily go with the best running back, but the guy he trusts the most. Seriously, like he gave Jeff Wilson Jr. 9 carries, got 24 yards, averaged 2.4 yards per carry. And afterwards, he was like, well, I trust Jeff. Okay, you trust him to give you 2.5 yards a carry. Like, frankly, Trey Sermon's better than Jeff Wilson Jr. Jeff Wilson Jr. was really good a couple of years ago, but he tore his meniscus and has not been the same since then. He was like a really good one-cut runner. Now he's a no-cut runner. So he may get the carries at first, but I don't think he's going to keep the job. And then it's going to come down to 2 rookies. Unless the Niners bring in like Kareem Hunt or Marlon Mack, and that could happen. But right now they drafted Tyrion Davis-Price in round 3. He was inactive week 1. They also have this undrafted rookie free agent, Jordan Mason, who was active week 1, but didn't get any carries. So if Mitchell's out, both should be active. I have no idea who's going to get the first carry or whatever. But from what I've seen, Jordan Mason's the real deal. And I'm not a scout, but I think I'm right about this. And PFF gave him a really high grade in the preseason. So far, everyone likes him. He's got good vision. He's decisive. He runs really freaking hard. He's 225, 30 pounds, runs about a 4.5. I like him. I think when he gets his chance, he won't give it away. So if I had to pick someone up, I'd pick him up. But if you could pick up multiple guys, hedge your bets, why not? I really think Jeff Wilson Jr. is not worth your time. I think Ty Davis-Price has potential. He's faster than Jordan Mason, runs hard. But from what I saw, he's like no vision. Like he's constantly running into his blockers, whereas Jordan Mason's finding daylight constantly. So I like Mason. Maybe it'll look different. Sometimes preseason football can be a bit of a mirage. But those are the 2 guys you got to look at. Make the decision for yourself. I'm going Mason.
Really interesting there. Jordan Mason, as you mentioned, the undrafted rookie, did have 94 yards on 19 carries in the preseason. It just feels like the Shanahan guy. Everybody's going all in, talking about Jeff Wilson as the number 1 pickup. And it makes sense on paper when you see that he led the team in rushing just 2 years ago, 10 total touchdowns. When he started, he had 6 starts that year. He was a top 12 running back in 4 of those 6 games. So he looked great 2 years ago. There were some rumbling that he seemed to have his burst back and things in training camp. But have you seen that? Like, are you buying the fact that Jeff Wilson's back to 2 seasons ago, or has he just not looked good to you at all?
He looked terrible week 1.
Yeah.
While everyone else looked good. So I don't know. I mean, it was raining, but Mitchell looked good. Debo looked good running the ball. He didn't. So they'll probably give him one more chance because they trust him. Week 2 against the Seahawks. But if he looks bad again, I think they'll have to get someone in there before they lose that game and go to 0-2. So he's got one more chance. And if it's not him, the next man up, Jordan Mason's getting his chance eventually. I think everyone likes him. Pick up Jordan Mason. Do yourself a favor. Again, with Jeff Wilson Jr., he tore his meniscus. Not the same guy. Jordan Mason's fresh, healthy, young. And here's what you need to know about. He's at Georgia Tech. He lost his starting job because they got another running back who has since transferred to Alabama as their starting running back. So he didn't get beat up by a slouch. He's good. And he's got fresh legs. Damn, go watch his carries from the preseason if you don't believe me. Runs hard.
He really does. No, I was playing some preseason DraftKings like a true degenerate, so he was definitely in my player pool, and I loved what I saw out of the kid. And the last back then to tackle is Tyrion Davis-Price, their 3rd-round pick, similar to Trey Sermon, it almost seems, with its just sunk draft cost at this point if he can't beat out this undrafted rookie. Has he shown any type of impressive stats to you? Do you think it was like a special teams thing that led him to be inactive, or What's the status on that guy?
They say it was a special teams thing, but what are they going to say? Well, the thing with Trey Sermon, what I saw when I really watched the tape, he wasn't running hard. So maybe he didn't want to be on the 49ers, or maybe he doesn't want to be in the NFL, but he was not running. He would get hit and driven backwards. Like, what? Like Ty Davis-Price isn't that guy. Ty Davis-Price runs really hard. And I like that about it. And he's fast. He's not super fast, but he's about a 4.5. It's just, it feels like half the time or more than half the time he runs into his own blocker. And the guy's like, oh, dude, what are you doing? So maybe and again, you're watching him like with second stringers, and Jordan Mason was with the third stringer. So maybe when it's starters and Kyle's game planning and Trent Williams is out there and you had some really good blockers, maybe they can give Ty Davis-Price some clear lanes and he'll look good. But to me, like, what you're hoping is that he can get to the edge the way Mitchell could, the way Mostert could. I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know that Mason can. Mason isn't super fast, but to get to the edge in the NFL, you need like 4.4 speed or better. And I don't know that he's got it, but they seem to think that he has. He hasn't proven it. If he can do it, he's got a role in the team, because it's almost like a free 6 yards on the Niners when you're running behind, at least when Kittle's healthy. He's not there yet. He's not there yet. So, well, I'm reserving judgment on Ty Davis-Price. We'll see.
Really intriguing. So we'll wrap it up. I know I wish I could get the whole 49 preview from you, but we'll wrap it up. If you were a fantasy football manager and you were ranking these guys for your pickups, 1, 2, 3, how would you rank them right now?
That's a good question. Mason 1, Davis-Price 2, Wilson 3, but that's going to feel a little uncomfortable when Wilson's starting week 2. You know what I mean? You're going to be like, damn, Grant told me not to take Wilson. Well, Kyle trusts him. He had a meniscus tear. He averaged 3.7 yards a carry last year. Sermon was better. Sermon was at 4.1. They cut Sermon. Now last week, Wilson's at 2.4. Man, even if they trust him, they can't justify giving him carries if he keeps not producing. So I'd say go with the young guys.
Really interesting. Well, Grant, I thank you so much for your time popping in again on this busy NFL season to give us your backfield predictions here. You've been right every single time on this backfield when you've come on before. Fantasy owners, pay attention here, because maybe Jeff Wilson, the number one pickup on everybody's list right now, is fool's gold. Grant, thanks again so much, and best of luck the rest of the season, my man.
No. Thank you very much.
What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.